Howdy everyone, welcome to Dr. Obi's garden. Have you ever wondered if you can regrow carrot from another carrot? Well, you are in luck cause that's exactly what you're gonna see in this video. I've seen many videos where people have tried to regrow carrot from a carrot root with various degrees of success in a temperate climate. In this video, I tried to regrow carrot from carrot tops in the tropical climate. I also compared growing carrot from seeds versus growing carrot from tops, and the outcome was quite surprising. Stay tuned to find out. Before I proceed, here is an opportunity to leave a comment. How do you prefer to eat your carrots, cooked or fresh? Let us know in the comments. Whilst at it, don't forget to subscribe to support our channel if you have not already done so. Your support is greatly appreciated. I started with 4 carrots of various sizes that I got from the farmer's market. Some, like this one, were looking healthy, whereas others, such as this one, was not in the best condition. However, out of curiosity, I decided to use all of them to see the outcome. For each of the carrots, I peeled off the outermost leaves and cut off the top green portion. Then I cut off about 1 inch of the top part of the fleshy root. Afterwards, I grouped them into 2, with the healthy looking ones on the right and the 2 not so healthy ones on the left. The next step involves suspending the carrot sections in water to enable sprouting of new leaves and roots. I inserted 3 toothpicks around the carrots about halfway between the top and the bottom before placing them on a 200 ml plastic cap. The caps were then filled with water to cover the base of the carrot so that the carrot was partially immersed in the water. The setup was kept in a partially shaded area for observation. I was also curious to know if other parts of the carrot could be used. Thus, I took one of the healthy carrot roots and cut it up into several 1-inch long sections. I suspended 2 of them in water just as I did with the top sections. However, the other 2 were placed at the bottom of the cup before covering with water up to about half of the height of the carrot section. This setup was also kept in a partially shaded area. I checked on them daily to top up the water level when needed and change the water every 2 to 3 days. After about 5 days, I made an interesting observation. One of the healthy looking carrots had sprouted many leaves that were growing luxuriantly. It also had a few white roots growing from the sides immersed in the water. However, the other carrot was no longer looking healthy. The bottom was hard, but the top had turned brown with a tiny sprout on the side. Further checks revealed that it had started rotting from the top. This was quite surprising, but the only option was to discard it and focus on the rest. Next, I checked on the not so healthy carrot tops. The first was not doing bad at all. It had some green leaves sprouting on the side and the top was still green, unlike the previous one. However, no new roots could be found on it. Checking on the second carrot revealed a few things. First, the water had developed some color, which was not a good sign. The water should always be colorless. The next observation was a whitish mass on top of the carrot. This was possibly a fungal growth. However, the top didn't feel soft to touch, so there was still some hope. Nevertheless, the bottom had turned mushy, which likely caused the water to change color. This was certainly not a good sign, so it was also discarded. Thus, although I started with 4 carrot tops, only 2 were left. Another interesting observation was made when I checked on the other sections from the middle and bottom part of the carrot. The sections that were suspended in water with the toothpicks were still looking healthy and had developed a few new white roots. However, the ones that were placed inside the cup didn't have any new roots and their bottoms had turned into mush. I discarded them to enable me focus on the healthy looking ones. By the 10th day, the 2 carrot tops had developed more leaves and the older ones had grown much taller. I was very excited by the success chalk so far. Therefore, I decided it was time to move them into the soil to enable them grow at their optimum level. I filled the container with garden soil mixed with 30% sand. After removing the toothpicks, I washed the bottom a little bit before digging a hole to bury the entire carrot section, leaving only the leaves. After planting both carrot tops, I watered them thoroughly and left them in a sunny location for observation. At this point, I decided to compare growing carrots from seed versus carrot tops. I filled a different container with soil, watered it thoroughly, and let it settle before planting the carrot seeds. I used a small PVC pipe to make depressions in the soil to serve as a guide for planting the seeds. I dropped a few seeds along the depression, covered with about half an inch of soil. I watered it lightly before finally covering the entire soil surface with tissue paper. The tissue paper was supposed to help maintain soil moisture by minimizing direct evaporation from the soil surface. After planting, I kept the container in a sunny location. A few days later, the carrot section from the middle portion still didn't have any leaves or shoots, so I decided to plant one of them that had developed longer roots in the soil to see whether it can develop new leaves in the soil. I dug a hole in the same container where the carrot tops were growing and buried the entire carrot section in it. I gave it a light watering before leaving it for observation. 8 days after transplanting the carrot tops into the soil, I got another surprise. One of the carrot tops, which was growing luxuriantly, had died. Further checks revealed that the carrot top got rotten, causing the leaf to die. This was quite disheartening, but all hope was not lost since the other remaining carrot top was still growing nicely. When I checked in the carrot seeds around the same time, most of them had germinated nicely. This was a sign that something good was going to happen. About 1 month after planting, the carrot seedlings from the seeds had grown beautifully. Sadly, the one remaining carrot top also rotted along the way, and I even forgot to make a video of the empty container before it was overgrown with weeds. It was a sad end for carrot tops that had promising start. However, my grief was compensated by the fact that the carrots grown from seeds were still growing very well. I knew that if I took care of them well, I'd be rewarded in the end. Just as expected, after about 3 months of growth, I was able to harvest some decent sized carrots from the seed grown carrots to enjoy with the family. Now, that's what really happens when you grow carrots from carrot tops in a tropical setting compared with growing from seed. The seeds were the winners. Have you ever grown carrot from carrot tops? Let's know about your experience in the comment section. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, smash that like button and also share it so that more people will benefit from it. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already done so. Check out our other videos or see you in our next. Until then, it's adios.